Hey YouTube, Justin here from Oafdragon, and I actually just got back from Locals, and at Locals I picked up some new cards, as you can see right here. Yes, these are the new Pendulum Magicians from Pendulum Evolution. I didn't buy a box, because those aren't available, but like, a vendor friend of mine had the cards and sold them to me for a pretty okay price, so I'm not going to say how much I paid, but I picked up basically the entire deck. So I had like the Pendulum Magician base already, but the new cards from Pendulum Evolution and some of the reprints like the super rares I picked up. So today I have a deck profile for you. As you read in the title, it's 60 cards. And I'm pretty sure this is actually the first deck profile on YouTube, as of the time of recording this anyway, with like real cards. So I'm excited to show them to you guys today. So my thoughts behind the 60 card deck is basically, like, you're not playing grass, I know it's limited, but you know, there's so many good cards now. Like literally all these cards synergize each other so much. There's so much synergy. I can't really think of more than 3 cards that don't really work with the entire deck. It's so perfect. And 60 cards may seem inconsistent, but literally you can search any card in the deck. Well, not literally, but basically. And oh, you might not see your searches if you're playing 60 cards, but like seriously, so many good cards. All these cards are so good, so you gotta play them. And you're not making Sorc with this deck. I know a lot of people are looking forward to making Sorc with like Astrograph Sorcerer, but honestly, it's even like with this kind of deck, it's not really consistent. You can make it for fun, and I might do a profile later with Sorc, but for now, this is what I think is the best deck version of the build right now. So basically, the idea is you control with your typical boards with like fucking Luna and like spoiler alert, Jesus. Miss Valley, Apex Avian and stuff like that. So the idea is you're basically, oh my gosh. So basically the idea is you're gonna make really nice boards, but at the same time you can really compete with your opponent's boards, and you can go back and forth and utilize your entire extra deck and kind of just grind. After you make your first board, after that you have your resources coming in and out with Wisdom Eyes and everything. Your resources are nuts with this deck, which is why you need 60 cards, because you're gonna go through a lot of this deck you're gonna see. So without further ado, let's get into it. As you know, there are a lot of new cards, so I'll explain them as I go. The first 3 are 3 Harmonizing Magician. This card's one of the best ones that came out recently, so it's basically a tour guide. When you pendulum summon from the hand, you can special summon any Pendulum Magician monster, any Pendulum Magician monster from your deck, but its effects are negated, and when it leaves the field, it's banished instead. But basically, the premise is you special summon a rank level 4, and you make a rank 4, and then it's nice. So you pendulum summon this, and it's a free rank 4. It can get Maxx or Ghost Dash or whatever, but it's still a great card. Also, it's a tuner, so you can make Nister as well. So this is a 1 card Nister off a Pendulum Summon. So you play 3 of this. It's an 8 scale. It's very good, very versatile. Next up is triple double Iris Magician. Yep, triple double no assist. Shout out to Kanye. So this card basically, the pendulum effect is you can pop this card, and then you can target a dark spellcaster you control, which is literally half the deck. Target a dark spellcaster monster you control, and then you can make any damage it does while battling your opponent's monster double. So that's not really relevant since all your spellcasters are pretty low attack. But basically, the premise is you're gonna pop it off its own effect to search for a Pendulumgraph card, because its monster effect is when this card destroys a battle or card effect, not even your opponent's, just battle or card effects, so like Sky Iris or anything really, or its own effect, you can search for a Pendulumgraph card, which is the spell card, the new spell card, or the new trap card. So I'll get into that later, but this basically pops itself to search a Pendulumgraph card. It's very good. So the next card up is triple purple poison magician. That is the tongue twister. Basically, this card is very similar to double Iris. When your dark spellcaster monster battles, you can destroy this card. The monster you control gains 1200 attack during the damage step only. So it's kind of like an honest from the scale. But its monster effect is really impressive. When this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, either by monster or a scale, because it resolves an extra deck, you're going to target a face-up card in the field and destroy it. So this is basically eccentric now, because you can pop this so many ways. You can pop this through battle, you can Sky Iris this, but nevertheless, whenever this card's popped, you get to destroy a face-up card in the field. So this card's very good. I'm not actually sure how the ruling works yet, but basically this card's interesting. When it is destroyed by battle or card effect, including its own, you can destroy a face-up card in the field. So I'm not really sure. For example, say your double Iris Magician attacks like an Oafdragon, okay? So it attacks Oafdragon, and then you're activating this effect to pump its attack. So now its attack is pumped, but this has to trigger to pop a card in the field. So does this pop the monster first, or does it pump the attack? I don't actually know the ruling, so if you know, comment, let me know. But either way, this card's ridiculous. So you play 3. Next up is triple Oafdragon, throwback to the older Pendulum Magicians. But you know what it does. When it's in the scale, once you return, you can return any of your Pendulum monsters from your extra deck back to your hand. So that's very good in bringing back these, since you can't Pendulum this from the extra deck, only from the hand. But also, you know, your Wisdom Eyes and stuff. So also, when it's Pendulum summoned, you can add any Pendulum Magician or Odd-Eyes monster from your graveyard to your hand. So that happens a lot when you Exceed summon, etc. So, or something's negated. So this card's handy. You play 3. It's still one of the best Pendulum Magicians. Next up, you only play 1 Dragonpit. Since the rest of these cards kind of replace this now. Like, Purple Poison can pop. Although this is never replaceable since it can get rid of face down back row. So you still play the 1, easily searchable. Or Wisdom Eyed. You also play the Dragonpulse to pop monsters. This gets over stuff like, you know, if your opponent's Masterpiece isn't protected against spells, this is really good. Also against like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno and Dino decks. So you play the 1/1 of each monster and spell and trap destruction. And then the 1 Nobledragon to make Absolute Dragon. And then, of course, how could you forget triple Wisdom Eye? So this card's at 3 now. It's pretty ridiculous. Honestly, people are writing this deck off as some fun, stupid deck. But in reality, like, this card is nuts. This card is crazy, man. So you can make any of these cards with any of these. Think about that. You're going to open another one of these with this, so it's always live. You're playing so many Pendulum Magicians now, it's insane. I honestly think this is like knocking on the door. Knock, knock, who's there? It's Pendulum Magicians. Tier 1, is that you? I'm coming for you. Like, this deck is so good now. I actually played a few matches at locals. I did pretty well. Like, against Zoo, your pure Zoo matchup is pretty good, actually. Unless they have, like, a Ghost Dash or something. Literally, like, you can break their boards like nothing. Sky Iris, they have to pop it with Trident, and then you can make your scales. You can't pop your scales anymore, so... Well... your Dino matchup isn't as good, but your 2 Draco matchup is okay. You can beat over their stuff still. So, honestly, this is a pretty good meta call, and you'd be pretty silly not to think you're going to see this Nats. This deck is definitely going to be a Nats. You'll play at least 2 rounds against it. That's what I think anyway. Moving on. These are all of the Pendulum Magician monsters. So, next up is Triple Joker. We have Triple Joker now, boys. Triple Joker, boys. Triple Joker. So, this card is nuts. Search any of these. Oh my goodness, on normal summon. Did I mention this is actually searchable now? We'll get into that later. So, Triple Joker. And then, you know, the 1 Sorc. So you can clear your scales. Actually, this synergy is nuts. Because a lot of these cards get affected when they pops now, so you get to utilize that with your Sorcerer. You play the 1 though. You don't really want to resolve it too many times. You don't have enough Performapals. But on top of that, you play the Unicorn and the big chicken, the little chicken, as your last Performapals. So you play 6 pals. These are searchable off both these cards and Sky Iris. So Sky Iris can get you a low hand on the high scale. So it's important you play those. After that, double Odd Eyes. So this card, I'm on the fence honestly. I might cut it to 1, even in a 60 card deck, because you don't want to really see it. If you go to end phase and you're just searching and passing, you're gonna die. Like, you're gonna get DK'd. So this card's really only useful for like Odd Eyes Fusion, or like end phase if you're desperate to search, or overlay plays. You don't really need to see this. This isn't really an Odd Eyes deck anymore. Even though you're playing a lot of the cards, it's more of a Pendulum Magician deck. So you play the 2. Well, I play the 2. You can play whatever you want, but I'm playing the 2. Next up, another new card, triple Astrograph Sorcerer. This card is actually really, really broken. I'm not even saying that just because I like the deck, but this card's actually really broken. Basically, its Pendulum effect is irrelevant. You can replace it with a fucking Stargazer Magician, that's useless. But its monster effect, I'll just read it to you. So, if a card or cards you control is destroyed by Battle of a Card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then, you can choose 1 monster in your graveyard, extra deck, or that is banished, and that was destroyed this turn, and add 1 monster with the same name from your deck to your hand. So, the most common thing, for example, if your opponent, like Twin Twisters, your Scales or something, right, and you had, I don't know, Harmonizing and an Oath and Scale. These are your Scales, right? If these are your Scales, and one of these in your hand, and your opponent Twin Twisters, these in your extra deck, you can special summon this and add one of these back to your hand. So you go back into your deck, and you just fucking search another Harmonizing Magician. So you're literally replacing this card. Or even if like this card is set, and your opponent destroys the battle, okay, it's gone to the extra deck. Now you special summon Astrograph from your hand, and you add from your deck to your hand another Harmonizing Magician. So this card's literally replacing any card in your deck that's destroyed. Well, any monster that's destroyed. So that's really nuts. So you play the 3 of this just because, wow, this card is really, there's so much potential. It's a dark spellcaster. It's a level 7. It has very similar stats to Dark Magician. It's not Dark Magician, but you gotta play 3. It's, oh my goodness, and you can Pendulum summon it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Next up, for the non-Pendulum monsters, I'm playing 2 Miss Valley Apex Avian. So I'm playing your 3, but like honestly, this isn't the main card of your deck anymore. You're not just gonna sit on this and negate your opponent's stuff. Still nice to see, but you do want to see your scales more. But on top of this, you're also playing that spicy deck all Pendulum players are playing now, which is triple Fairy Tale Luna. Excuse me. So if you know what this card does, basically you normal summon it, and you search another copy from your deck. Normal summon, add. Okay, great, broken. And then it's a Kirin. So during either player's turn, as a quick effect, you can target this and your opponent's monster and bounce them. But your opponent can negate that by sending another monster with the same name from the deck or extra deck to the graveyard. So like, if you target a fucking Oafdragon with this card, they're just gonna mill Oafdragon and you're gonna minus. So this card's really for like Zodiac. You can target their rat, you can target their, I don't know, you can target their like Dragonpit and stuff if they're only playing 1. So this card's only useful against that really. Against like true Draco decks, you typically side this out. But this card synergizes very well with these 2 cards. These 2 kaijus, Kumungus. So you can give him a Pendulum, and then normal summon Luna. Search for another Luna. Oh, that's not Luna. Awkward. But you search for another Luna, and you literally just bounce these 2 back to the hand, and then kaiju another monster of theirs. So if you have this with the kaiju, the synergy is endless. You just summon this, you kaiju their monster, summon Luna, bounce these back, kaiju another monster, then pend the 2 Lunas you have now because you searched one. So the kaijus are really important in this deck, mostly because of the synergy, but also just to get over stuff. You're playing Kumungus because 1 has low attack, but also it's a level 7, so you can rank 7 if need be. Next up, lastly, is the Maxx. In a 60 card deck, you're really not going to see this. But you still gotta play it. It's one of the best cards, if not the best card in the game. It's still legal for some reason, but when you see it, your opponent just cries, and you gotta play the 1. You're gonna see it once in a while. Alright, and for this, that was all the Pendulum monsters and the monsters. Next up is the spells. So triple Duelist Alliance. This card searches, I believe, 30. Oh, that's a lie. There's like 20 cards in your deck. Literally, this card is nuts. This card can search, I don't know, your pen calls, which is now at 3, so you play 6 pen call. And next up is triple Star Pendulumgraph, which is also searchable of Duelist Alliance. So Pendulumgraph is a new card, new spell card that they gave us. And basically, the first effect isn't really relevant. Your opponent cannot target spellcaster type monsters you control with spell cards or effects. But the real effect is if a face-up Magician Pendulum monster card leaves your monster zone or Pendulum zone, add 1 Magician Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. So literally, whenever one of your Pendulum Magicians leaves the field, either by destruction, battle, anything, this searches for another one. Nuts! Literally, oh my god, this card is endless plus. So you play the 3, it's searchable both by Duelist Alliance and double Iris Magician, but you still play the 3 because the card's too good, and you want to see it opening. It procs off of Wisdom Eye, it procs off Skyris, it procs off of your own Pendulum monsters popping themselves. Literally, this card basically goes off every turn. Your turn, your opponent's turn, it's nuts. Next spells, triple Skyris. You know, you do want to see your Odd Eyes fusions and your Odd Eyes monsters. This could search a high or low scale, and it protects your scales. So this is very important. You're also playing a secret village of the spellcasters. Not many decks can get around this actually, but you only play the one because after they get rid of the first one, you know, it's really annoying to play with. It's kind of dead. But also triple terraforming, so you're playing 4 secret village and 6 sky irises. So honestly, playing the one's fine. But yeah, these are your field spells. Well, these are my field spells. You can play whatever field spells you want, but these are my field spells. Up next, I'm playing double Odd-Eyes Fusion. So this is a 60 card deck, so you do kind of want to see this, like opening even, going second typically. But also you can make a second Vortex Dragon, like it's possible. This card, I never got why people only play one of this card. This card is really good going second. It's even good going first if you can resolve it properly. But you play 2 Odd-Eyes Fusion, making Vortex Dragons is super key to this deck. I just think everyone should play 2 of these. So next card up is Ignite Reload. You play the 1 in a 60 card deck just because once in a while, once in a blue moon, you'll have that hand that just doesn't synergize, it just doesn't work. And once in a while, you might have this card too. So this will just, you know, do away with all the brick and just kind of make everything better. So you play the 1. I'm not playing Desires just because, like, there are cards in here you want to see, and you don't want to banish, like, your Odd-Eyes Fusions or anything. Like, there are some cards in here that are too key, and you really can't, you know, this deck is a well-oiled machine. And if you banish any of the, like, the moving pieces, you could just kind of fuck yourself, so. With that said, the last spell is Forbidden Chalice. This card in this meta is just super important. You can chalice their Alistar, you can chalice, you know, their Zoo cards. I added in one more depending on the matchup, but, you know, the one in here is kind of nifty. It's nice, it's cute. So that's all the spells really. And the last 3 cards obviously are 3 traps, and they are Time Pendulumgraph. So this is also searchable through Duelist Alliance as well as Double Iris Magician. But basically what this card does is, like the other card, this card makes it so that your Pendulum Magicians are unaffected by trap cards. But also, you can target one Pendulum Magician monster in your scales or your monster zone, and then 1 card your opponent controls. Destroy them. That's the effect. On top of that, if this effect did not destroy 2 cards, you can send 1 card in the field to the graveyard. Isn't that insane? So this card's nuts. Literally, like, for some reason, if your opponent has a card that says this card can't be destroyed by card effects, this just bypasses that and sends it to the graveyard. This takes your card and just sends it. So it makes sure that the effect goes through. Also very cheesy with this card is Pendulum Call. So basically, Pendulum Call says your cards can't be destroyed, but you can still target them with this effect. So basically, this is in scale, and Pen Call is still active, so this can't be destroyed by card effects, not even your own, right? So you Pendulum Graph, you can target this card and your opponent's card, right? And then, you know, the effect resolves popping both of these, but this is protected by Pendulum Call. So after that, this card is going to look for another card to send from the field to the grave. So that's a pretty nifty interaction. Good to know for the deck. And that does it for the main deck. So out for the extra deck is double Vortex Dragon. So obviously this card is one of the best cards in the deck. Walking the Gate. When it's summoned, you can bounce a card on the field. So again, a very nifty synergy with, of course, the Kaijus. So you summon a Kaiju in your opponent's side of the field, then you make your own Vortex Dragon, and then you bounce it to your hand, and then Kaiju another monster they control. So this makes the Kaiju super efficient and super worth it, so you play 2 of these. Next up, Odd-Eyes Meteor Burst, and then 1 Odd-Eyes Rebellion, 1 Odd-Eyes Raging Dragon. You don't really make these, but if you need a beater, you can make 7 into these. 1 Absolute, and then for the 2 new cards, 2 Time Star Magician. So this card says, this card requires 2 level 4 Magician Pendulum monsters. So literally any of the first cards I showed you can make this. And then once per turn, you can attach it in Season Material to add 1 Dark Spellcaster Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. Yep, this card can search Joker. So that's really nuts. So a nice cute little thing you can do is you can Pendulum summon Harmonizing Magician from your hand, you know, not normal summoning yet, and use the effect to special summon any rank, any level 4. Overlay these two for Time Star, use the effect, and search for Joker. Normal summon Joker, then search. So it's good, man. You can search Joker so many ways now. This deck is a well-oiled machine. It is so consistent, and this just helps so much. And then you play one Trapeze Magician. You can make this with any of the 2 level 4 Pendulum Magician monsters, and it just opens up OTKs. 1 Tornado, and then Utopia package, and then Utopia Beyond. This card's really stupid with Odd Eyes, because you can bump your opponent's attack to 0, and then make an Odd Eyes, which does double damage, so just 5Ks. OTK, man, just OTKs like crazy. This and Odd Eyes is basically an OTK, unless your opponent has an answer. But this is 8,000 damage right here. And then you play one Big Eye, because you play a few level 7s, so this is important to rank up into. And lastly, you play Ignister. I know, I'm missing Ignister, but you play the one Ignister. It's obviously you can make it with Harmonizing Magician, so you gotta play it. I don't really have a side deck yet, but honestly, this deck does really well on its own without siding. But obviously, your opponent's gonna side in like Imperial Orders against you, anti-spells, you know, Undead Nightmare. So, I mean, honestly, this deck does have an out to anti-spell, and it's Time Pendulumgraph, because you can pop your opponent's trap cards with this card. So it's really good. Otherwise, if you really want to, you can side in like Jinzo, Roll the Kree and stuff like that. Those are your main things to look for. But otherwise, that's really the deck. I hope you enjoyed watching. You know, it's really exciting for me to play these new cards. You know, it's pretty cool to look at these new artworks and just seeing them in person. It's really cool. Pendulum Evolution actually comes out on the 23rd, which is tomorrow, Friday the 23rd of June. And be sure to pick yourself up a box. I think it's pretty worth it. The pull ratios are pretty good. Like I said, I didn't pull these myself, like these new cards, but a friend bought a box and opened the cards and pretty much pulled everything I needed. So again, thanks for watching. And actually, we're doing a little cute little giveaway. So one lucky subscriber and liker of this video, if you like this video and subscribe to our channel within the week of this video, so by the 29th of June, we're going to pick one lucky subscriber to win a super eccentric from the new set. So, you know, please subscribe to our channel. We're very new, but I think we make pretty good content. We'll be uploading like every week. So if you want this eccentric, like this video and subscribe to us, and we will pick one lucky subscriber. We'll PM you, and this could be yours for the low price of 1 subscribe and like. Again, thanks for watching. Justin from Hofstra TCG, signing out.